If you've got a reselling business, chances are you're trying to figure out how to manage all of that inventory. Unfortunately, that's just a piece of having a business where you've got physical products. You have to know how to manage that inventory. And in this video, I'm going to help you do exactly that. From very beginner tips all the way up to advanced ninja level hacks. Get ready because we're going to get that inventory under control. If you're new here, then welcome to the channel. My name is Lee Meyer and I've made well over $100,000 net profit as a part-time reseller, flipping used clothes and other items on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And now I'm on a mission to help at least 1,000 resellers be able to hit that $100,000 mark for themselves this year. Now, one of the biggest pieces when it comes to success with your reselling business, especially if you're looking to scale your income this year, you have to know how to manage your inventory. So I'm going to lay out for you in this video some ways to be able to manage inventory from very basic levels all the way up to more advanced hacks. Ninja level hacks is what I'm calling them. So we're gonna go ahead and dive on in. But first off, I wanna thank the sponsor of this video, Vendoo. Vendoo is the cross-listing tool that I recommend, the same tool that has led me to that $100,000 mark and beyond. And you'll find down here in the description below this video a link to be able to get 25% off of your first month. That's an affiliate link and I appreciate your support and helping to keep more amazing reseller content headed your way. I'll be covering 7 listing hacks in this video and make sure to stick around for the end because I'm gonna save the best, my favorite one, for last. Now, as a Vendoo user myself, this video is really going to be geared around using that tool to be able to manage your inventory because there's so much capability built in. Now, first up is the SKU field. This is built into a lot of platforms like eBay and Poshmark, but Vendoo actually has this built in to their listing form as well. You'll see a field where you can go ahead and enter a SKU number, and this can be unique to the item or it can be just the storage location of that item. So for example, if you've got box A through Z, you could go ahead and put that in. Maybe even if you've got it in your front closet or a hall closet, you could even enter that as a SKU number. And that's a really easy way to be able to go and find the items when they sell and you're not having to hunt and figure out where your items are at to be able to get them shipped. Now, if you're using Vendoo, when you go and put in your SKU number or letters to that field and then save your Vendoo listing form, that's actually going to populate the SKU field on the marketplaces down from there that have SKU in their listing. For example, eBay and Poshmark. And so when you go into those listings, you'll see within Vendoo that Vendoo has already populated that SKU number that you entered in this example 28. It's already put that into the eBay listing as well as the Poshmark listing. And this is only for you to see. It's not going to show on your customer's end. Now, for platforms that don't have that SKU field available currently, for example, Mercari, you're not going to have a way to see it from within Mercari, that SKU number, but you'll be able to see that SKU number within Vendoo. And Vendoo actually gives you the ability to be able to search by SKU number. You're just going to enter the SKU number into the search and then any matching listings will be pulled up. The next hack is to use what are called Vendoo labels. And just like that SKU field, you'll find that Vendoo label right in the listing form. But unlike a SKU number, you can actually have multiple Vendoo labels for each item, actually up to 20 different labels. An example of this in my case might be I might want to label an item as consignment, meaning that it's a consignment item. I might also want to label it with the name of the client And then I also might want to label it with the season that that item pertains to. And maybe it pertains to multiple seasons, maybe fall and winter. I could have all of those Vendoo labels attached to that single item. This gives you yet another way to be able to manage your inventory, search for items by those Vendoo labels. This allows you to be able to do things like bulk edit listings according to the season. It allows you to be able to delist items in bulk that meet a certain label criteria, such as for that consignment example. Let's say my client decides that they want their items back at the end of the consignment period. I could go in and search for those particular items and then bulk delist those items to get them back to the client. Oh, and inside the label manager, that's where you can see all of your Vendoo labels. You can even see that they're color coded, so it makes it really easy to distinguish between those different labels. And if you're wondering about your current listings that aren't currently labeled, yes, you can bulk add and even remove those Vendoo labels. Next, Vendoo gives you the ability to be able to manage your inventory by marketplace. So for example, it's showing that I have a total inventory count of 455 items. Now, when I click on Mercari, that's going to show just the items that are listed on that platform, which is 329. Something else that's really helpful is that checkbox to view not listed. So with that Mercari checked as well as that checkbox on, that's going to pull up all of the listings that are not listed to the Mercari platform. And you can see that that then drops to 126. And for those of you math people who are noticing that those numbers don't quite add up, you are absolutely right. And that is due to multi-quantity listings, which Vendoo can and does handle. Also note that you can get fancy here and select multiple marketplaces. So for example, if I want to know what items are listed to both, say, eBay as well as Facebook Marketplace, I can click on both of those platforms, and then it's going to only pull up the listings where that item is listed to both places. And you can see that number is 13. The reason being that I don't list very often to the Facebook Marketplace. The next hack when it comes to managing your inventory is to use those advanced filters. You can sort by all kinds of things here, like date sold, date created, date modified, and so forth. One thing that is super helpful here that not a lot of people realize is that if you go in and delist and relist an item on a certain platform, Vendoo is still going to retain that date when that item was originally listed to Vendoo. This is really important because it helps you know exactly how old your items are, how long you've had them listed, versus if you were to do it on, say, eBay, you were to go in and delist and relist, you're going to lose that original listing date. So an example of this, so you can see, is this item that I listed on February 8, and then I came in on February 10 and delisted and relisted, and you're seeing that there as that date that the item was modified. But Vendoo still shows the original listing date of February 8. This next inventory hack is really helpful if you want to be able to move your old inventory. Remember, you're not in the business of storing items, you're in the business of selling, and a lot of resellers struggle with that, getting their items out the door and seeing sales come in. And so this is why this inventory hack is almost close to my favorite. And this is to use that sort feature. And the favorite sorting way here for me is to go by Stalest. This will allow you to be able to pull up the items that need to be delisted and relisted. If you're not familiar with delisting and relisting, that's just a simple way to be able to refresh your listing as a brand new listing to the platform where you have it listed, and you have full control of which platforms to be able to delist and relist to. My recommendation is to avoid eBay because that will count towards your free listings for the month, but instead delist and relist on those other platforms. And what that's going to do is actually push your listing up to the top of search results again. Now, before we get to my favorite and best hack, we're up to ninja level advanced inventory management hack here, and that is to use the CSV export feature. If you're going, okay, I don't know what CSV is, what it stands for is comma separated variable, and it's a way to be able to download your data. You can then use it in, say, an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheet, and then that gives you the full ability to be able to have control over that data from within a spreadsheet, be able to manipulate it how you want, to create graphs, whatever it is that you want to do with that. And speaking of graphs, Vendoo actually does have a whole analytics page where you can go in and get a good visual representation of your sales data. To generate a CSV file, if that's something you're interested, is definitely advanced, but you're just gonna hover over the person at the top right corner and then select Export CSV. From there, you're gonna be able to choose a date range or go with all of your inventory and then hit that button to generate your CSV. All right, we have made it to my favorite hack of all. And the worst thing that can happen when you're managing inventory is that you double sell an item and you end up having to cancel an order because it already sold on another platform. Using Vendoo actually has a feature that eliminates this entire problem for you. Now, it always seems like I can, manually go in and delist items, but without a doubt, a lot of times the same item will sell twice, say overnight when you're sleeping. Is just something that happens. And so to be able to deal with that, Vendoo has built in an auto sales detect feature. Now you do need to go in and turn this feature on. And by the way, this is available to all Vendoo users. So you do need to go into your marketplace connections and look at each marketplace and toggle on for that auto sales detect feature. It's currently available for 5 different platforms: eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Whatnot, and Depop. Once you've got these turned on, you can go about your day knowing that if an item sells on one of those platforms, Vendoo is going to automatically delist that item for you on the other platforms where it is listed. Now, I know inventory management can be a huge headache, but it doesn't have to be. And any of the things that we've gone over in this video, or if you encounter any issues when using Vendoo, the best place to go is to that chat down at the bottom right corner of your screen in Vendoo. This is going to pull up a message box where you're going to be able to message the Vendoo team directly. And this is a really easy way to get specific help for your situation. The Vendoo customer service team are going to be able to look at your specific situation and going to be able to help you accordingly. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. Remember, down here in the description below this video is a link to be able to get 25% off of your first month of Vendoo if you're not yet a Vendoo user. Thanks so much for watching. If you found it helpful, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, as well as consider subscribing to the channel. Now, if you're looking for more content on how to use Vendoo, like how to be able to maybe import current listings that you have, I have an entire playlist I will link to up here to be able to help you through those steps of using Vendoo in your own business. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video soon.